Hello everyone, Nick the DM here, and today's topic is something I've been pondering for quite some time, but never thought it would work within the balancing of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. That is, of course, until the recent release of the Vecna dossier, and what I found in there. And with that, I introduce you to my homebrew rules for legendary reactions. Now a little information for some of you who aren't familiar. In 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, certain creatures of great power, legendary creatures if you will, have a selection of special abilities, one variety of which are called legendary actions. Creatures with legendary actions have a number of legendary actions they can use outside of their turn in combat. These actions refill at the start of each of the creature's turns. Basically, a legendary creature can choose to use one of their legendary actions at the end of another creature's turn and only once per turn. Some of these actions cost more than one action, meaning more than 1 point is spent during that action. For example, an ancient red dragon has 3 legendary actions per round and 3 different options to choose from. The dragon may be fighting a party of adventurers, and at the end of the paladin's turn, this dragon can choose to use one legendary action to do a tail attack on a target within range. The dragon has now spent an action and has 2 remaining for the rest of the round. However, at the end of the wizard's turn within the same round of combat, the dragon may choose to use its wing attack, which costs 2 actions, meaning that the dragon has used up all its remaining legendary actions for this round of combat. At the start of the dragon's turn, it regains those actions for the next round. This is done to help the action economy in D&D, which basically says the side with more actions in combat will normally win if the sides are of equal power. And the legendary creature has a limited number of actions per round and can only use them at the end of another creature's turn. Now, the Vecna dossier does something interesting. Without spoiling too much of the stat block, Vecna is a legendary creature but has no legendary actions. Instead, he has some new reaction options and can do 3 reactions per round but only 1 per turn rather than the usual 1 reaction per round. So almost like legendary actions but only in reaction to specific circumstances. This has opened a whole realm of possibilities for more reactive combat, reactions having certain triggering effects which allow the creature to use its reaction, and this is where my idea comes into play. Giving creatures legendary actions helps the action economy. Giving them multiple reactions makes combat more interesting and reactive, so why not combine them? Give legendary creatures the ability to spend legendary actions on specific reactions. If a creature has 3 legendary actions per round, they could use them for actions at the end of another creature's turn, or they could spend them on an additional reaction to save them in combat. For example, a legendary mage could spend 2 legendary actions to cast an additional spell at the end of another creature's turn, or spend a legendary action to use a reaction and cast Shield. A creature, of course, would keep their normal reaction for free, however, legendary actions could be spent for an additional reaction. A legendary warrior takes an attack of opportunity against a retreating foe using its normal reaction, but a few turns later, the warrior could use a legendary reaction at the cost of a legendary action to parry an oncoming attack. Theoretically, this shouldn't mess with the action economy terribly, as the reaction gain comes at the cost of a potential legendary action that round. And the lack of a legendary action can be made up for by the fact that a reaction parry or spell shield could cause an attack to miss the creature, thereby saving it from damage. So a list of 1 to 2 legendary reactions could help you dungeon masters or game masters out there spice up your combat and challenge your players. Anyways, that is it for today's video. If you've enjoyed this video, maybe check out some of my other videos on Dungeons & Dragons topics, and please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!